like the same.
How's the dunes, Bart?
Solid.
Solid?
Same thing as last year.
I missed it last year.
Really?
You didn't go?
I had the camp in Tennessee the same
Oh, that's
weekend.
right.
I was like, the guy that was probably looking forward to the dunes the most wasn't able to go. I was like, fuck.
Nah, it's easy.
I like the
competitions.
Yeah,
It's
the
fun.
competition
It's fun.
stuff's fun.
We did Bronco Ball this year.
Really?
That was like one of the drills, kind of.
So what all the stations that they had set up there?
There was like a mirror drill one. There was like this figure 8 one, the Bronco Ball, a relay, and then what? A race up the hill.
Race up the hill.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then like a med ball relay, or yeah, like a mirror drill.
Well, last year they did like,
The race up the hill.
but I was saying like the position, like you had position groups were at each different station, but it was always like offense versus defense.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that this
Yeah,
year.
no.
It was just
It's
kind of.
yeah, position group kind of.
First time I went, like before COVID, because they didn't do it for a couple of years. Like last year was the first time since COVID.
Yeah.
And someone sent a memory on our Snapchat group text of Coach Murray and G2 tug of war.
Oh yeah.
And Coach Murray won, and everybody's just picking Coach Murray in the air and shit. He's like having the time of his life. Shit was hilarious.
They picked up one kid freshman today and trampled the other one.
Oh, I did. I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did he do?
Like they did the tug of war thing with
Mhm.
the.
With like the I don't even know what you
I
call
don't even know
it.
what it's called. Yeah.
Those
but-
yellow things?
The yellow
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But it was like two freshmen against each other, and the one freshman won, and they like picked him up and were carrying him and like trampled
Over
the
the
other
dude that
freshman
lost.
on the ground.
And we were driving in.
Oh yeah, what happened?
Coach Murray's truck. He drives that little
Yeah.
blue Ford Ranger. He said a tractor trailer backed into him, so it's like we're driving into this park or whatever. He's like standing there at the side and like look over and like the front of his truck is all messed up.
Jammed.
And he's like just flexing at us as we're driving by. I saw him. I was like,
He
what
ran
happened?
into someone?
No, a tractor trailer like backed into him or something. So his
As
truck-
he was parked over there.
I don't know because it was on the entrance in, so I don't know how.
Why do we
it
drive
happened.
separate?
Well, they go up there early and
All set up all the stuff. Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So they were up there early. I don't know what time.
Was
they
there a lot
got
of people there by the time you guys get there? It was pretty empty.
When we were leaving,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people on the beach.
But like it was like windy and like the waves were high. So,
Rip current.
Yeah, so
Yep,
you
beach.
couldn't even swim.
There's a beach hazard for this whole southwest coast of Michigan.
How long has that been going?
What?
The hazard thing, do you know? Or is it-
Started yesterday.
Oh, just yesterday.
So yeah, it's like a 2-day
This
thing.
is just because of high winds. pretty much.
I honestly have no clue what caused it. It was because I was actually surprised because I was in the UP this weekend and water over there like glass, bro. And, like chill. And as I was driving it back down, like my phone alerted me of the
How was
beach
the UP?
hazard.
I've never been up there.
Man, it's beautiful.
I heard
dude.
it's- I heard
if
it's
you
sick.
like the outdoors, you'll
Yeah.
absolutely love it. It's sensational.
You been up there?
It's like a part of
No.
No.
Like to ski in winter, like at like a place like right over the border.
Yeah.
That's it.
yeah, it's a part of the Midwest that people just don't
Think about.
go. Yeah, dude, it's like it just goes over your head. It's like it's literally a jam hidden up there, man. It's
Yeah.
all these little towns or most little towns, it's
Yeah.
they're pretty cool.
Naldi's going this
But
for next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend.
I wanna
where's he
go.
going?
Somewhere in the
I
UP.
think Iron Mountain, maybe. I don't know. His dad's family has has a place over there.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, Picture Rocks, beautiful, man. Like the whole lake shore. And you can do all kinds of stuff there. You can go kayaking, you can go hiking, camping, whatever you decide to do.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
What were
Did
you
go to
doing
that
up
one
there?
National park?
Yeah, I did go to Iowa.
The one that you have to like. So you took the seaplane.
I took the seaplane. It was
Ooh.
crazy.
How was
I'll
that?
show you some videos later. It was wild. I've never been in a plane that little, and it's like not pressurized. So there's like it's funny. There's like a little circle thing on the window that you can spin it, and if you put it to the open side, the amount of wind that just flies in is crazy. But it was an amazing experience. Like the whole, flying into the island from above, that was awesome. Honestly, wish I was there for longer, man. I was only in the island for 25 hours, so they say it's like one of the least visited parks in the whole country, just because it's hard to get out
Hard to
there.
get to, yeah.
But one of the most returned because, dude, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, did not get to see a moose.
You didn't see a moose?
No, I saw a whole lot of moose shit. I heard them in the distance. collection of antlers. It was funny on the way back when we were, hiking back to the main spot to get the plane. We saw this lady, and turned out we were like in the same flight with her, and we had a couple hours left. And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this trail," and we were like, "Oh, we're doing the same." And it turned out that we took a loop, didn't go all the way to the end. And then when we saw her on the way back, she was like, "Where were you guys? Like, we saw a moose." I'm like, "You gotta be shitting me." But yeah, she saw a mom, cow to twin calves.
Did you see any elk when you were in Colorado?
No, well, I mean, yeah, not when I was hiking, driving through. So a big herd, and one when I was coming back from the park, one was crossing the road right in front of me. Actually, almost crashed onto me.
Really, that would be bad.
But
that's the first thing I want to do when I'm done with school.
Go out there.
Go out there and go on an elk hunt,
dude.
It's like Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, something like that.
Yeah.
Idaho.
That sounds sick.
Yeah,
that sounds sick. I definitely. Just like you said, once you're done with football, because unfortunately, football season and hunting season.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like my least favorite part about like playing college football. Like in high school, obviously, it's not as big of a time commitment, so I was able to like hunt and stuff on the weekends and whatnot. But obviously now you can't, especially since I'm not like in Pennsylvania where I'm from or anything.
You got to catch someone nearby that has some hunting grounds. Where you can...
even in Aldi can't really hunt that.
Yeah, I went with Wenzel one time. We went duck hunting, which was cool because that was the first time I ever went duck hunting. But
everybody says bird hunting is a blast.
Yeah, it's fun because like you don't like every other thing you hunt, more or less you have to be quiet and like still. Like duck hunting, like you're sitting there like shooting the shit with the guys.
Waiting these motherfuckers flying around.
Yeah, it was fun. I didn't think I'd like it that much, but I did.
Nah, man, I didn't grow up around that culture. One, guns are not allowed in Brazil, nor is hunting. The only type of hunting is actually allowed is wild boar hunting because it destroys so many crops.
Yeah.
But, not a big thing. And then when I moved here, I was in Indiana, big rural community. So a lot of people hunt, and got to go with a couple guys, and it was so much fun.
It's fun. It's
so
like
fun.
I don't even know how to. It's like an adrenaline rush. I think you could just like.
Oh, I'm never gonna forget the first time I was looking through the scope and there was something aimed and my heart is just like
like beating out of your chest. Yeah,
pure adrenaline going through.
Like I hate when people say like whatever, like if you hunt like you're disrespecting the animal and stuff. Like which there are people that do that.
It's the absolutely opposite.
If you use the animal and you eat it and everything else, then you're not disrespecting. Like there are people that are poachers and whatnot that are. Bad people, but
of course, of course. I
just hate when
what most people don't know that I found out not too long ago too. It was that hunters are the ones that support like wildlife conservation the most.
Yeah.
Like any hunting gear, any ammo, guns, anything that you buy at like an outdoor shop, 10% of that revenue goes straight into wildlife conservation.
Yeah.
So. The hunters are the ones that are, given the most money to help out of all the, kinds of stuff that needed. And people also don't understand the control of populations, man. Like, we are apex predators. We became apex predators. And with that, we took down a lot of other predators that would be around. We're not sharing our environment with wolves and mountain lions and shit like this. So those animals are still around. Like, somebody has got to step up and fill that role to manage their populations. Otherwise, the amount of road crashes of deer and all kinds of other animals, like something needs to control those populations. Otherwise, they will literally just multiply like crazy.
And even now, you see dead deer
all over.
Yeah, the
still
population's still growing.
100%. Yeah. So like you need people to take those down. Like
the bad part is population's growing, but their habitat is decreasing.
Yep.
Just by like how many homes are being built and everything else.
Just to give you an example, Isle Royale. It's the only place in Michigan that you find moose and wolves, and the populations of moose and wolves over the years since they started, keeping track of those that data. It's crazy. It's a graph that flips back and forth because if there's a lot of wolves, wolves are gonna kill a whole lot more moose and vice versa. So. At one point, I think the most wolves they ever had on an island was like about 60. and the moose population at that time was like 200, 250. Now there's only 2 wolves left in the island, for various kinds of reasons. Like the island is not that far from Canada, so harsh winters, ice bridges form, the wolves migrate back and forth.
Yeah.
And they've tried to implement more wolves to the island, but they haven't been very successful because every time an ice bridge is formed, they usually migrate back to the mainland. So only 2 currently in the island. And there's about, from the 200 moose that they had when the wolves are at peak, there's like 1,400 plus right now.
Jeez.
So it's a shit ton of moose out there.
Wild.
Well, they
Yeah.
like wolves were almost going extinct in the U.S. and they reinstated them not too long ago. I think within maybe the last 15 years or something, in like the Midwestern states, like reintroduced a lot. Like they weren't fully extinct, but the numbers were declining.
Yeah, for sure.
And they reintroduced them to help with like,
I mean,
some of
man,
the population stuff.
when people migrated out west, dude, like the amount of uncontrolled hunting and killing of wildlife was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
The amount of bison and stuff that were killed, but in wolves, reintroduction of wolves. Think about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Like Yellowstone was free of wolves for the longest time, and then we have all this crazy elk population roaming around over there, and then you introduce wolves again, and these elk, they didn't know what wolves were, like they were living out there, free of predators, and out of nowhere you introduce this apex predator that just starts killing all their kids.
There has to be a balance.
Oh, 100%, 100%. With anything, man, like no ecosystem on the face of Earth exists without the balance. Like if it's something is out of balance, there's something's gonna go bad very fast.
Yeah.
For whichever side is in disadvantage. So pretty crazy.
Something always eats something else.
Oh, man,
Just
and
up the
it's
chain.
nothing goes to waste in my in the wild. Nothing. Like no death is in vain. There's something always taking advantage of that. So
that's the other thing. Like when people say about hunting, like.
Yeah, it's just part of the food chain.
But even like I'm just saying, like if you're good at what you do, like whatever, I archery hunt a lot and I practice a ton before I go out to make sure my bow's sighted in, that I'm shooting well and everything. It's like that's probably the best death that animal will have.
Yeah,
vice versa,
like
by hitting by a car and breaking its leg and not being able to eat, or just slowly dying of old age and whatnot. Like if you make a lethal shot on a deer
it's quick.
with a bow, it's dead within 30 seconds.
It's quick.
And it's like
very quick.
It's not like you're killing, like, it's already had like a decent long life. Like it's not
like
you're
you
killing,
kill
like, a baby.
you kill mature animals. Like you don't.
Of
kill
course, there's
them.
regulations for any kind of hunting.
Like in Pennsylvania, you have to have, if you're shooting a buck, you have to have 3 points on one side. So more than likely, that's an older deer. To
for
help,
sure.
With the population and things like that.
You mentioned bull hunting, man. I was Cameron Haynes, I assume.
Yeah.
So I was hearing him talking about it, why he got into bow hunting, and he was just saying that every time he was hunting with a gun, he kind of just felt out of place when it was time to make a shot. Because you're out in the wild, and it's everything. You try to be as quiet as you can, and you're observing everything around you, and you get your target. You're aimed at it, and you just waiting for the perfect moment, and you pull the trigger, and it's boom, huge explosion. Like everybody around you hear it. Anything that's around is hearing that, and he was just like, that sound is just out of place.
Yeah.
And with the bow hunting, it's just not only makes it a lot more challenging. You got to get a lot closer. Nobody hears it. You can make a kill, and nobody will even know.
Yeah.
It's just like that shot through the woods, that pure silent, and he said that felt much more natural.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with it.
No, I agree. Like I don't, not to sound like weird, but it's like more the way it was supposed to be.
100%.
Like because that's the way it was.
Even though those bows are full of technology, like a compound bow, like
yeah, it's different than what it was, but just like I don't know, the first deer I ever shot was with a gun, just because it was easier growing up doing that, and then my dad was big into archery, and I remember the first time I went like archery hunting, I was like immediately addicted because like you were saying, like obviously you have to get so much closer. It's like a lot bigger challenge.
Man, you got to be in shape to do it too. Dude.
Yeah, especially what they're doing, like hiking all through the mountains and stuff, miles back in there. But I don't know. I just the challenge of it. Like they're designed. Their whole thing is like food, water, survive. That's all that those animals think about. And like you just being, it's kind of like a chess match, like back and forth. It's I don't know. It's cool.
100%.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get into more into it. You know,
Yeah.
as I get more time getting out of college, especially with the. I want to get into the bow hunting more than anything for sure.
Especially,
And I might cheat a little bit at first using a crossbow, but
no, yeah, you gotta.
that's all right.
You gotta get into it. And even like when they go, those guys that elk hunt out there in the public lands that are thousands upon thousands of acres, you know, they'll walk. The guys I watched on YouTube, they're called the Hunting Public. These guys, and they went elk hunting. I can't remember I think it was Colorado, but I can't remember. I could be wrong. But they walked like 10 plus miles back in the public land because they wanted to get away from all the other guys that wouldn't walk that far back in.
You got to get
It's like,
deep.
when you're back in there, like when you're hunting the animals, like they may have never even seen a person before when you're obviously because you're that far back in there, and it's I don't know, that's just always cool about it too.
100%.
Yeah.
And just being in the wild is just there's just something different about it.
Yeah.
Like Al Real is probably one of the most wilderness, away from civilization place I've ever been. And even out there's stuff. The island's only open during the summer months, so I guarantee you there's military training in the winter, and they also use it for a lot of scientific studies and stuff like this in terms of managing populations and stuff. But being in the woods, is just that feeling of like you are out of your environment because we're so used to the city environment, but it's like it kind of connects back to that ancestral being that you once were,
Yeah.
and it's just I love it, man. I'm a huge fan of the outdoors.
I've said before, I feel like I've been like born in the wrong time period. Like I wish I was born before like all the major cities were built and stuff like that.
Before all this technology came along.
Yeah, like
I mean, there's pros and cons.
There's good parts, but I don't know.
Makes life a lot easier, everything's so convenient in front of us.
Like I always say,
but at the same time, there's a lot of bullshit that comes with it.
Yeah, like when we go up to my cabin, especially like a lot during COVID, like it just feels like a whole like different world up there. And then we got like the national forest like right across the street, with, like trails, like I don't know, like it's living like it almost feels like living up north is like living back then. Everybody forgets about all the technology.
But you still get the technology, nobody's riding razors through the woods back then.
And like I always say, if I ever made a lot of money someday or was one of those NFL guys with all that type of money, the first thing I would do if I got that money is I would buy
a lot of land,
as much land as I possibly could, and just like whatever, put a log cabin on it, be in the middle.
And you got to get a good location. For that. For sure. I'm a huge fan of geographical formations like mountains, lakes. If you can give me mountains by the water, I think that seals the deal.
You give me somewhere where there's not a lot of people where I can hunt and fish.
And that's why I want to go out west, man. Because there's just so much more room. There's so much more different stuff to see. Like taking Michigan outside of the Midwest. The Midwest is pretty plain.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to do out there.
Yeah.
Did you go out west? Like from Arizona to Montana, you cross so many different types of environments. Like you start out in a flat desert, like that whole region: Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Idaho, Wyoming. I don't know, dude. There's something magical about that. Like that part of the Rockies, you get the best out of both worlds. Like when I did that trip through Utah. Just within a state of Utah, man. We started out down south, Zion, Bryce Canyon. Bryce Canyon was like full of snow back then. This was like mid-March through spring break.
Yeah.
Bryce Canyon full of snow. Zion an hour away from it. 70 degrees sunny. We drive north. We go to all the way to Salt Lake City. Go skiing the next day. A shit ton of snow. Drive a loop around the other side of the country into Moab, which is like, desert area, the Arches, Canyonlands. Again, super warm, nice weather. and like it's just beautiful, man.
It's crazy. You can just drive a few hours over there and
completely different environment. Completely different environment. You know, you're in these mountains full of trees, and then you go down into the plains where you have nothing.
Yeah.
So like
it's fantastic. I love the seasons too. You know, if it wasn't for the winter, those harsh winters, those places wouldn't look like that. Yeah. It would have been completely different.
My great aunt lived in Colorado, and she owned a 2,000-acre elk ranch. So like she would raise elk, well, just like whatever a normal farm here is. Like, instead of having cows, she had elk and would like sell them for their meat and stuff. It's like 2,000 acres. She had a stream or river, whatever you want to call it, rolling, going through her property, with trout in it and stuff like that. And she sold it, unfortunately, before I kind of got old enough to realize like what it was.
Yeah.
But, like my brothers would go out there in like summers of high school and like fish and 4-wheel through all the mountains and stuff, and it's like, dude, if I ever had that, I could just never let it go.
Yeah.
Keep it forever, huh?
Yeah, I would. I don't know. I'd figure out a way to. I'm sure there's a way. I don't know what it is exactly, but whatever in my will or whatnot, if I had land to where I would obviously give it to my kids, but to where they could never sell it.
Like put it in a trust.
Yeah, something where they could never sell it. I would never want it to be sold.
For sure. Keep it for generations, man.
Yeah.
If there's one goal, like long-term goal that I want is like you said, have a lot of land and being able to be self-sustainable, just being able to feed off that land in terms of raising your own animals, fruit farm, like just being able to literally have my own source of food, and having water, like literally being able to live out of your land, not having to depend on the modern world to go get your basic needs. So it's crazy.
I don't know. I think technology is gonna backfire in a sense here at some point in time.
It could. Definitely.
I just feel like it's getting too powerful.
With the speed of it, like you can only go so fast with your advancements and so far.
We'll see, man. We're definitely living through a very interesting time.
Like the AI stuff is like, I don't know, it freaks me out, dude.
And it's kind of just starting, we're kind of like just exploring the surface of it. How much bigger can this get?
I feel like it's gonna start taking people's jobs.
Yeah, that's
100%.
Which is the
what
bad.
I'm thinking about.
Yeah, people are gonna have to find new jobs.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to find new specializations, and
the amount of jobs that are gonna be available are just gonna keep going down and down.
Yeah, you got to think, in terms of the population number too.
Yeah.
Where people usually have this idea that there's too many people in the world, but most developed countries are going to experience, some are already experiencing, but most will in the next couple of years experience a huge underpopulation shortage.
Yeah.
Like, people don't have as many kids nowadays.
Yeah.
I promise, I guarantee your grandparents most likely had at least 5 kids, or if not more, and look at people that have 5 kids nowadays. It's like
it's a surprise.
Very, very, very few.
We were talking about that today after when we were eating, me and another guy on the team. Just like we feel like this centralized family is like something that's not pushed anymore, to whatever, to get married and have kids and whatnot. I feel like that's not something
having kids is expensive, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
It's expensive. It's like lifetime investment.
Yeah.
But
I just see it from my parents had my oldest brother when they were 20 and in college. Obviously,
think about you having a kid now.
That's what I'm saying.
Impossible, right?
When there's
but some people do it.
Yeah,
Harry
that's why I give them Harry and all these people. When people say that they can't do it, it's like you can. It's not gonna be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I could not imagine having my dad at my age had 2 kids, which is ridiculous. I can't imagine having 2 kids.
We're learning how to take care of ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine having to take care of a whole other human being.
Trying to figure out how to make dinner for myself, and so it's and they always say that those were the hardest years of their life, but it was the best too.
Yeah.
Just figuring things out and whatnot, and
they found out real quick that they could get through anything.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. Then I saw my oldest brother when he had my nieces and nephews. And everybody that's ever had kids, I feel just says you don't understand it until you look at your kid And it's just like your whole world changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I feel like people that, like, obviously you gotta respect them and their decisions, but, like, I feel like you miss out on so much life if you don't have kids, like,
I agree.
have a family, like.
Oh, 100%. It's
like,
definitely...
yeah, you can definitely do things that you, like, wouldn't be able to do if you had a family, but I think there's so much of a benefit in, like, having kids and, like, seeing them grow up.
Yeah.
And,
people says life changes too, you know, it's
yeah.
kind of takes a turn.
Yeah.
You don't live for yourself anymore, you know.
Yeah.
That's what, my parents always said, like, the moment they had their, like, my brothers and me, like, they're, like, what they were worried about in their own life really didn't matter anymore. It was about, like, setting, you know, us up for success in life, which they did, and, like, seeing them, like, get to, you know, play and look at my nieces, their grandkids, and, I don't know, it's just cool to see. Just like the timeline of things, like within your own family.
No doubt. And it's good that, you know, you had parents that thought that way.
Oh yeah.
They're able to pass that down to you, you know, and you will do the same.
Yeah.
You know, in years to come. So
I feel like even in today's world, that's like an old school way of thinking. Like I don't know, just like it's kind of weird that I'm like kind of deemed an old school thinker in terms of like stuff like that, which is I don't know. Just weird to think that. I feel like that would just be a normal thing, but kind of society's shifting in a way.
Yeah.
To where it's not as much anymore for whatever reason. But
I'm loving the topic, but I got a couple questions, so we don't make this too long.
No, you're good.
You know, the barn's been running some mean poker tournaments. First question is, who's the top dog? Who's been taking all that money?
Honestly, it all, like...
Tournament play... Well, we've only had a few tournaments.
I would say I would have to give the tournaments to Blake Bosma, and Mason Nelson. I'd have to give it to them. Because they always, like... What we do is say we have 10 guys play, like... Everybody pays in for a certain amount, and then we'll pay out, like, the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, first gets the most and so on. But, like, I think we've done, I don't know, like, maybe 4 or 5. Yeah. Tournaments, and Blake has always placed and Mason's always placed, and Blake's won like 2 of them, I think.
Yeah, and people are playing a lot. You find out the real players in the tournament.
Yeah, it's
because then play a lot different. Cause cash games you can just keep barreling money.
Yeah,
so.
Like when we play cash games, which is what we usually play. It all changes. Like 1 week I win a lot, and then next week I lose, and then it all.
Everybody
rotates.
goes on streaks, and
Bart's on a little bit of a downswing right now, so hopefully he can bring it back. But it all changes.
Well, that leads into my next question: who's the guy that's forked the most cash in those plays?
I mean, the most.
I think it might be.
It's either money or.
Yeah, it could be Mason.
It could be Mason too. He's forked a lot of cash.
So he's in both ends of the scale.
He's one of the, he either wins a ton. Swinger. Like last night, what was that? Last night or 2 nights ago we played. He won $180, which is a lot for our table. Like we do $20 buy-ins.
He just swings up and down.
But then like a week ago he lost 120. So it's up and down.
I feel like every time I'm there he's, you know, like just going crazy, betting on shit.
He's
and
very,
then all right, new buy-in, gets new chips.
Yeah.
And
he's an aggressive player.
Oh.
He don't back down though.
No.
Does not back down.
No.
I mean, I don't blame him for that. I think that's honestly how you make poker funny.
No,
I understand, you know, if there's a lot of money in the table, you gotta be cautious. But
it's honestly a really
the more risk you take, the more chances for rewards you have.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why I never like to fold a bad hand because, dude, you never know what's gonna pop up in that flop.
Yeah.
You can have a 2 and a 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Got the same odds as an ace versus another number.
Yeah, I mean, technically you don't have the same odds because
the high card.
Exactly, but
same odds.
You never know what's going to happen.
Same odds of it coming out.
Yeah.
And I never, like, my buddies always played in high school, and I didn't play. I don't know, for whatever reason, I just never wanted to learn. And then it was last summer that, like, I kind of learned how to play. And, like, now I'm addicted. It's, like, my favorite card game.
It's fun.
I think it's crazy to think back, like, when we first started playing.
Yeah.
Because, like, we played a few times in the hotel, like, an old roommate, Hayden Mikeso, and, like, Ryan Kilberg, and, like... Yeah, and like Arnoldi, and then we didn't really play much freshman year, and then last summer we started getting into it, and it's just funny to think about. Like we literally started with Sal and I, Boz, and Naldi, and maybe Cal or something. But now we got like probably like 15 different guys like rolling through different nights.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
So it's cool.
Shit, I'm gonna try to come for one more next week.
Yeah, you came to a couple.
Yeah, I played 2 times.
Remember, everybody was shocked by the way you dealt when you fanned out the cards and dealt. That was cool. I remember that. We got the whole card room.
I got you guys do got a nice little setup in there.
Nothing like the office though.
We've had it for
a
long time.
Yeah.
You know, I was very fortunate having both sides of the house. When one side moved out, a lot of stuff, ended up down here. So, just over the years. You guys should do the same, man. How many years you guys got left? 2 years, 3 years?
I got 2.
I got 3.
So, yeah, who knows what's, do you guys think you're going to get younger guys moving in as people start moving out?
We're going to have to get 2 new ones after next spring. Going into next fall, we're going to have to get 2 new guys, so we'll see.
Keep it going, man. Keep it going.
See who wants to move in and whatnot. Always a struggle, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those things you gotta, it's, you gotta start as early as you can.
Yeah.
And it's kind of annoying because you gotta start so early. People don't want to think about that, but from experience, just seeing other people go through it, the earliest you start looking for it, the better it will be.
Yeah.
For both sides.
Yeah.
For you guys and for whoever decides actually to come in.
Yeah.
And it's, it takes a little effort.
Yeah.
You got to go out of your way and start, do some research, figure out what you're going to do. And a lot of people, especially when I was trying to convince people to move in here, I feel like what turns them out the most is the fact of living in a house with so many guys.
Yeah.
And
it's so cheap compared to all the
it's a lot cheaper.
And like
you got a garage.
Garage.
It's a house. You have storage. You have a lot more room.
And honestly,
so there's a lot of plus in that side, but the way I looked at it, like I lived by myself because I transferred in the spring, so it was like a last minute decision. Didn't know anybody or anything anything around here, so I got a 1-bedroom for the first semester, and then I was lucky enough there was an opening in the house that I was able to move in. And what I learned with it was it was honestly, I feel like I realized this very shortly after I was here. Like, once I get out of college, I'm 100% going to be moving in by myself.
Yeah.
So, I'm never going to have the opportunity to experience such thing with the guys that I share my time, daily time with, you guys are there every day, everybody working for the common goal, when will you ever be able to share, your living space with your friends, your teammates, or brothers? Man,
funny you were saying. I was
you
just
have
thinking that
4 or 5 years, and you're out of here, and life just changes, man.
Like when you're done or whatever, I feel like, when we look back at college and all those stories we tell, a lot of it's going to be from us at our house, staying together. And I always said I couldn't ever live by myself while I was in college just because I would get bored.
Bored?
I don't know.
Dude, share your time with your friends.
Obviously, there's times wherever I want to be left alone, so I'll go to my room and whatever, you're left alone. But I don't know. I couldn't do that every day.
At least you have your own room. You're not even sharing your room. There's a lot of people.
It's different being in the dorms where you don't even have your own room. But I feel like it's not too much being in a house just because you have your own room. When you need that time.
Yeah. Of course, you got to pick a good group of guys that are going to be respectful. Have rules in the house and keep things organized and clean and it's not for everybody. I'll 100% everybody's different, man. There's people that need their own space, and I understand. But don't be afraid to try it. No. At least give it a shot. If it's not for you, it's a 1-year lease. You can go into your next thing later on, But I was trying to get Bucci to move in here for the longest time, and he was always clicking on that tab of oh, dude, I don't so many people. Like, what if I need? Like, I'm like, dude, like, if you need your privacy, you will have your privacy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so
he did the same to us. It was funny, like looking back. He was gonna move in with us. When was it? Going into our junior year, last fall, he was gonna move in, and then he like kind of bailed, and that's how we ended up getting Caden and stuff. But guess he does the same thing multiple times.
Thanks, Blake.
You say hi?
Oz, I shouted you out on here, man.
Oh, thank you.
He did shout you out.
Yeah.
He was
Poker
saying
tournaments.
who's the
This
best
is a
poker player. I
old
said
bitch,
Boz
huh?
is the best tournament player we have.
You and money.
You guys always place.
Let's play today.
Well, I mean, if
Shout
you
out,
want to see
boss.
your thoughts on who's forked out the most money,
Forked out the most money.
we said we thought it'd probably be money, even
Money.
though he's up there for the
I'd
tournament
say
play.
maybe Palmer's in there too.
Yeah, but they've also like
They won a lot, yeah.
They've had the biggest. Forked out the most money, like put the most money in.
He's saying like all time, like who has probably
down the most?
lost the most.
Oh, I thought you were saying won the most. I was
Oh, no.
No.
Forked out, like
Yeah, both of
I
them.
would say one of those two. Yeah.
Norris is up.
Yeah, he's still figuring out. I feel bad for him sometimes.
Who?
Nate Norris. He
Oh, transfer guy.
transfer guy.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
awesome,
New
dude.
player to the table.
Yeah,
Where's he from?
came from Lehigh.
Oh, I know you're
Yeah,
talking about.
he's from Philly originally, and then
Nice,
came
nice.
from Lehigh. He's the we call him Herc because he looks like Hercules. He's the strongest dude.
I heard he
ever
benched
seen.
405 and ran a 9.5 in the same day. I was like,
for
damn.
like for his body type.
You got a little freak athlete there, huh?
Yeah, like
And
he's
his
just
bro-
like a one big muscle.
His brothers would make him look small. he
Yeah.
said.
His brother,
His brothers make him look small.
football player too, or no?
I think so. I don't know though.
They're in
I
the
think
military.
Yeah, military.
Yeah. He's a
Thousand
good dude.
push-ups a day.
Yeah, geez, something.
How's Yeah, that leads me into my next one. How's the team looking with all these new transfers and stuff?
I think we got some good transfers.
Yeah, I think so too. It's always hard to like you'll
Yeah.
figure out what like camp is where you figure everything out,
Yeah.
especially with like what transfers are going to play, what transfers aren't going to play. Like it's always
In terms of culture-wise, you think they're
Oh.
recruiting good guys,
Yeah.
or because one thing that I experienced when I first came in, there was a lot of flag recruits here still. You know, like
so it's
there's
like yeah.
and those guys, like, flag recruited very high cultured guys, that people of character that bring more to the team beyond what just they put on the field. So once those people graduated, man, just the environment around the facility changed, like drastically.
Yeah.
It was big time change.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of the reason was because the recruitment kind of turned out to be more skill, talent only,
Yeah.
and not, thinking about the team culture, what kind of characters are you bringing in? Because, this is Division I program, but there is flaws in the process, man.
Yeah.
I actually got to talk with Coach Lester a couple weeks ago, and he was like, talking about how the summer's going. He's like, yeah, man, I have the whole month off. We don't have to do recruiting or anything.
Yeah.
And he's got a smile to the side of his face. Like, I feel like the recruiting part has to be one of the toughest things of being a college coach.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Always on the road.
Man, always on the road, always recruiting, always on the phone, and it's honestly been like one of the few things that kind of I don't enjoy about the process of playing football, because there's so much bureaucracy that goes into it, and I don't want to talk any coach down or anything, but there's so much lying that goes on, dude.
No, I mean, I think everybody's experienced it, especially in recruiting in high school.
Man, you're talking to some young 18, 17-year-old man. I don't even know if I call him man. Premature man, that you're giving all these hopes and dreams and, just feeding them up with it. And I think they put a lot of pressure into these young men, and they a lot of them make decisions without being fully informed, and just they could have made better decisions,
Yeah.
and I feel like sometimes they are persuaded by someone that, you know, it's a big decision when you got to choose what college you're gonna go to, man. Like that was one. I remember when I made the decision, it was like, at the time, probably one of the toughest decisions I ever had to make.
Yeah.
And because you're gonna spend the next, not anymore now, because you know the new transfers rules, like they, and like the letter of intent used to be a big thing, you know, like where you're gonna spend the next 4 years of your life, and now you can just go somewhere. If you don't like it, 6 months later you can just transfer somewhere else. But whichever school you decide to go to, it is a big choice in the end of the day. And like I said, it was a big decision for me, and I would be lying to you if I told that everything here was perfect during my time, that everything went the way it was, I was told it was going to go. But at the end of the day, I have no regrets of the decision that I took. I think I know that Western Michigan, like not only the university, you know, this whole region, it's like it low-key became a home away from home for me. And now that I'm going into this process of moving elsewhere, it's when I started realizing, you know, like how important it is to be a president alumni.
Yeah.
And that you gotta dedicate your time and effort to come back and give it back to the, you know, the people in the community that gave so much to you. So I'll definitely be around, you know, for years to come.
Yeah. So like I owe everything to Coach Kenny. Like when you're talking about like coaches kind of being like shady or whatnot, or not being truthful, like when you're recruited in high school, that's why I kind of was drawn to here.
Coach Kenny was the one.
Coach Kenny recruited,
and he's great, man.
Pittsburgh.
Coach Kenny's a great man.
He was the most straight up coach, one of, or if not the most straight up coach to me during recruiting, like the whole time.
Isn't honesty a crazy thing?
Yeah, like he was, like I said, just told me the truth the whole time. Like other coaches, like whatever Pitt, for example, did not, and it's just like I know I could never do that to someone, like you were saying, it's a young kid trying to figure things out, and like whatever I, you know, came here and whatnot, and then like obviously last year was a lot of ups and downs, and I caught myself after the year like thinking like, man, like this is awful, like I was gonna leave, and you know I didn't like it here, and then I was just like, yeah, like everything happens for a reason, like don't shy away from, you know, the hard times, like you were saying, not everything was perfect for when you were here.
The hard times are the ones that are gonna, you know,
like
determine who you are.
Yeah, like I was caught myself like trying to hide from it. Like my season didn't go the way I wanted to. I caught myself trying to hide from it. It's like why hide from it? Just like kind of embrace it.
Exactly.
Like, and just find a way to.
And that's a great way to think, man.
Yeah, I was just more so like embarrassed in terms of like the people that believed in me, like my family and support system and like my teammates. Like I would like struggled being around those guys because whatever, I was supposed to do a lot better than I did. So like I struggled somewhat in a sense of embarrassment when in reality like nobody cared that like they cared that I didn't do but they didn't care that I struggled.
Exactly. And that's great, dude, because
that's what I'm saying.
The numbers that you put up, your stats do not determine who you are, man.
Yeah.
Like this was one thing that I've it was the best thing that I've noticed since I haven't been with the team. Like this last semester was the first time in 6 years that I have not, you know, been working out with a team on a daily basis. And you just realize like how much more is there out there in life than football.
Yeah.
Because we're in this thing every day, like literally day in, day out. You're putting all your energy, physically and mentally, into this game, you know. And that's, you breathe it. Like it becomes a part of you. And everybody wants to be successful. No one's playing college football without having, you know, goals of playing professionally.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately, for most of us, it doesn't happen. And when I was going through it, I was just like you said, you know, I had moments during the season that were going up and down, and it teaches you a lot, man. Like when you go through those hard times, like I promise you, like once you step away from this game, like there's gonna be, you know, of course, everybody has adversity along the way, but you're gonna be able to deal with that stuff so much easier because you're like, dude, I've been through some way harder shit. Like I've put myself in some deep holes inside my own head. Like this that I have in front of me right now that I have to face it is nothing compared to you had to go through before. So like it just builds character, man.
Yeah, there's kids our age that just sleep until 12
and don't have any
they don't know what going through physical exhaustion feels like, or like I feel like the mental is even worse, to be honest, because you can beat someone's body up very easily, man. Like taking through the workout and shit, but mentally
getting through it's the different part.
100%.
That's one thing, like you were talking about culture, that I give a lot of credit to. All our new coaches and stuff, is I feel like that's something, it's easy to say, like, oh, we got a new coach, you want to talk good about them, but I don't know about you, Bart. I think it's a lot different within, what has it been, 7 months?
Oh, yeah.
And that's great. That's great to hear, man.
Just like you said, like, when you could see the difference from, like, Fleck and, like, the players he recruited versus now, like, it's the same thing. Like,
it's
as soon as the day Coach Taylor walked in the building, like,
things changed.
Yeah, like you just saw it on his like the way he handled everything, like went about everything, like he expected a way higher bar than everyone else.
You guys came in 2020, right?
Yeah.
So you guys still got a few guys left. From that. The scenarios are very different now. You got to think. Coach Taylor. Thought Coach Lester first. Coach Lester took over a program that had just went through the best year in their history. So, like, nobody wanted him to change anything. They wanted him to keep the way things are going. Like, keep this great culture that we have. And I think that, unfortunately, over, the years, the great amount of talent that the team had, combined with poor coaching, got us to be where we were for many years in a row, just slightly above average.
Yeah.
Always, the 6-6, 7-5 season, and we fell short many times of our main goals.
Yeah.
And now Coach Taylor takes over a job where,
it's expected
the team has not been going very well. Yeah. We have not won a MAC championship. So he needs to, like, people want him to come in and change things around, so it's very different.
Yeah.
When I had the chance to sit down and talk to him, I wish that I was under the mindset that I am now. Because at that time I was kind of like, emotional of like, am I going to be able to play one more season of college football or not, coming back from this injury, blah, blah, blah. And I have literally no hard feelings on the decision that he made. Because at the end of the day, I do think it was the best decision for me to enter the portal,
Sometimes you need a reset.
Exactly. Man, new environment, new staff. Going to have the I just look at it, new opportunity to, make more connections, meet new people, and just take advantage of this, I have 1 year left, so just got to make the best out of it, man. And I'm just so excited, that to have this opportunity to go play for a staff that has been very honest with me and want me there. Like I have like a role that they're expecting me to fill, and I hope to be, succeed their expectations.
Yeah.
But it's just
feels good to be believed in.
Exactly. And it's gonna be memories I'm gonna have for a lifetime. So I'm as sad as I am to be leaving all this behind. As one chapter ends, another one starts.
Yeah, another adventure.
So you just gotta make the best out of it, man. But like I said, I'm definitely gonna be present. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to come back this next year because I'm also gonna be playing and stuff. But in future years to come, I definitely want to be around.
Yeah.
I've made so many connections here. Like, who knows if I'm gonna land a job in this region or not in a few years. There's like, luckily Kalamazoo area, there's a lot of money and some big corporations. So
I feel
like I said, you
that
never know what happens, man. Like, that's another thing. Like, making plans for the future. It's great to make plans. It's great to have goals and work towards those. But when have you ever made a plan and that it went exactly the way you
planned it? Could all flip in any second.
Oh, man, like, you know, just got to roll the punches, man. Yeah. Adversity is going to hit at some point for everybody. Yeah. Like, I remember when I made the crazy decision of switching from soccer to playing American football. And I was looking through, you know, schools that have a good football program and good engineering program. And, you know, there's a list of schools, and I'm going one by one. And then I narrowed down to certain regions in the country. And I was looking around the Midwest just because I lived in Indiana for a year.
Yeah.
I was a Broncos fan, Denver Broncos fan. And I looked at Western Michigan Broncos, and I'm like, damn, how funny it would be if I ended up playing here, man. And fast forward a couple of years, here's where I end up. And it's, like, honestly, it was the best 4 years of my life, dude. It was a one hell of a time, you know. And I think the best part of the whole process was the people that I got to meet, you know, the connections that were built. And the networking that I'm going to take forever.
Yeah.
So
same thing with, like, I didn't know what Western was till Coach Kenny came to school, and then obviously you get to know it, and then like living with these guys, like these are the guys that are going to be in my wedding, and
forever, man, forever.
Just exactly. And it's just like weird that, like, what are the odds that we both chose the same place, and you know, it's just weird to think about. But like you were saying, like
one small decision could have led to a whole nother. Like,
what if I chose to go to a different school?
Yeah, like I wouldn't even know Sal and wouldn't have
been
roommates with him freshman year and gone through everything.
That guy that's gonna, you know, be next to you like in one of the most important moments of your life in years to come. So, yeah, dude, definitely cultivate all those friendships. You know, people that really matter to you, and that's another very interesting thing with football. You know, like it's a huge team. Like you have 100+ players in a locker room. And the reality is, you can't be friends with everybody.
No.
Yeah. Well, number one, you're never going to be able to please everybody around you. Yeah. And you shouldn't. You know, people should, you know, like you for who you are, not for, you know, things that you do or you have. But you got to really, like, you know, be smart of who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And like people have told me that before years ago, and I kind of just flew over my head. I didn't understand that, and I'm like, now I realize, I was like, dude, like, you surround yourself with good people, you know, like that gets, you know, transmitted to you. Like you absorb that stuff around you. So, you know, really think this through. Like, who are the people that you want to keep around for your life? And because once you step out of here, you know, everybody gonna take their own path, start their own family, getting married, having kids, and you know, you just have so many other priorities in life. It's hard to dedicate that time to your friends and stuff. So, dude, sometimes like I did 3 road trips this summer, which was, you know, like I said, I had a lot of free time in my hand, and I was able to make the best out of it. And I had the idea of just start calling people during those drives, and dude, like people that you haven't talked to in years, man, like they're cool, you know, never expecting a call from you. Like first, you never know what somebody's going through, man. You can change someone's day with like a 3-minute call, dude. Like just just call them to check in. And, you know, and at first I thought it was gonna be super awkward, and there's definitely a lot of people that were not expecting that. But like when it was like 3 calls deep, I was like, dude, this is not only easy, I'm having all kinds of fun with it. It's making like my time go a lot faster, and I'm actually making it, you know, productive with it. So just take that time to reach out to those people, regardless of maybe a text, a phone call, and not only friends, like staff at the school. If you had a good professor that you think he, like, you know, could help you in the future, man, like send them an email. Like once you graduate, like, hey, you know, love taking a class with you. I'd love to touch base, like if we can get on a call or something. I have some questions. Like they love that, because like nobody's teaching, like nobody's teaching, like not everybody, I don't want to generalize it, but I feel like most professors, they are teaching because they want to help the younger folks, you know, like exactly. So like they like that stuff. Like it's not like you're, you know, like being annoying to them and stuff like this. Like I love when a friend old friend of mine reaches out in a long time. You know, like it's always good to catch up. So and it's something that you have to dedicate time. It takes time and effort, but it's a lot easier than it seems. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've noticed that too. Like being here, because we're here like
all the time.
48 weeks, 49 weeks out of the 52 of the year, like, and being like 5 hours from home, like I don't really see my buddies that often. And same with you, like, I know that that's the first time these last few years, like realizing like the importance of that, and like.
Because now that the time is adding up, you're like, damn, I haven't done a lot of stuff with these guys in a long time. But that's what I'm saying. Just give them a call sometime, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was, like I told my mom that I was like, hey, yeah, I've been driving, calling my friends and everything, and she was like, well, how about your friends from Brazil? Like, why? Like, what's up with them? And I'm like, holy shit, dude, you're so right. You're so right. Yeah. Like I gotta fucking start reaching out to them too. So I just went on WhatsApp and started banging on their lines.
Yeah.
And most of them are like, are you here? Like, I'm like, no, I'm just calling to see what's up, man. Like,
doesn't hurt to check in.
Oh, never. But yeah, dude. How long are we rolling? Oh shit.
We at?
It's crazy. You see, like I always expect to do like, oh, let's do like 30 minute tops. It's 56 minutes already.
Wow.
Crazy. Kind of flies by.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you guys doing this.
Absolutely.
It was fun. And yeah, dude, best luck with the season.
You too, man.
Go
kill it.
Are you? I appreciate that. Are you graduating soon?
I'll graduate next spring. He's already graduated.
Yeah. We walked the same day.
I'll be next spring.
Mitch finally became Beach.
Yeah. I know.
But yeah, dude, I will definitely be watching. Look forward to you guys kill out there, and yeah, best luck of everything, dude. Like I told Bart this, like, take advantage, like, since you guys have this COVID year and stuff, you dude, do as much as you can in your time out here. If you have an opportunity to study abroad, do it. If you have an opportunity to get a master's degree, do it 100%, because you're not really doing, like, free of cost.
Yeah.
It's something that
in a fortunate spot.
They will never be able to take away from you. Like that's something you're gonna take forever in your life. So
yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good deal.